hear myself through my headphones. Yes, man. Like, I feel real good about this right now.
Pay attention, because you are now listening to Permission to Speak Freely.
You celebrate Thanksgiving?
I do. Big time, bro. Ever since I was a little kid, man. Like, that's one of them, next to freaking probably Christmas or something, man. It's one of the biggest things, man, that pretty much bring families together, man. And even though this year no one came to my house or did anything like that, because I have in the past, you know, especially on ships and stuff, may invite, you know, some of the sailors over or something if that was the case, or depending on the situation. But this year, man, this is probably, man, I'm gonna put it up there on one of the highest points of my having Thanksgiving at the house and with you know, family and all that type of stuff. And the reason for that, man, it seemed like this year, man, everybody was in the kitchen, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Everybody wanted to help out. The kids older enough now, you know, everybody want to seeking they make a pie or seeking they make a cake or seeking they, you know what I mean? And I let them test their little theories out, man. Help out with, you know, the dressing, help out with all that stuff, man. This year, it seemed like it was way more family oriented than ever before, because everybody was in there doing stuff. You know what I mean? Everybody was trying stuff. So that was a big deal. But also another big deal, and I know my wife kind of felt it a little bit, you know, when Mark not here. Even though Mark doesn't eat damn near no freaking Thanksgiving stuff, you know what I mean? I had to cook him some special shit for Thanksgiving. But other than that, man, he was missed this year, man, and most definitely when we was saying what we was thankful for and things like that, man, he was one of the focal points, man, of that. So most definitely a good year though, man, a good time for, you know, sitting down, because now as kids get older, man, they get more distant. You know, they be in their rooms a lot more. They on their phones a lot more. They doing other things, hanging out with friends a lot more. So it was pretty good this year, man. Everybody came together and I think we had a good time. Most definitely had some good food.
Okay. So just for clarity, what's dressing?
Dressing, man, like it's where you like, I mean, I don't know if I have to explain what dressing is, but
I mean, you probably do, because it's different people from different regions of the country, right? So the region I grew up in, let me
okay, yeah.
The region I grew up in, right? It's like this. I don't know what it's like, bread and all this stuff. But my grandma, she used to make it. It was for the turkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you stuff it in the turkey, and it's called stuffing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then like it'd be some left over. So it go in the pan. And then like we still ate it on the side of, you know, the turkey or whatever. So it's called stuffing. Now I met a dude from Chicago who was telling me about dressing. Yeah. And I'm like, and when I saw some of it, you know, I'm like, is dressing like the same as stuffing? He's like, no, it's 100% different. It's like, it's great. Like you could do all this with dressing. And when I saw a picture of like what somebody said was dressing, and now, mind you, he's from the Midwest, you from the South, and I'm from the East Coast. Yeah. So when I saw a picture of what somebody said was dressing, to me, it looked like what I believe stuffing to be. That's why I'm asking you was...
Yeah. I think it's... yeah, that's a good question. I got you. I understand now. I think it's very similar, right? But it's not quite the same. And I say that because it depends on who's making it, man, because you know that stuff they call stovetop stuffing or whatever, right? That stuffing stuff,
yeah,
or whatever they make, that's different than what we do, right? Because we actually like, man, it's like I tell you what it's like, man. It's like making it from scratch, and we call it dressing, because you actually have you get your cornbread. You know what I mean? You got all your little vegetables. You making this from scratch. It ain't like you got a box or nothing that you started off with or anything like this. You put certain seasonings in it. You know what I mean? So I think dressing is kind of similar, kind of look the same, all that stuff. But I think it's more, when I say dressing, I'm talking about something that's made from scratch. And a lot of people take their stuff. Hold on, let me finish. Before I get the fire right here. We ain't talking about that stove top stuff.
Yeah, you know, everybody that makes stuff. No, you talking about Big Mama, man. Big Mama ain't make no stuffing from the box. Big Mama ain't make
I apologize, moms.
Now I'm talking about Big Mama. Big Mama ain't here no more.
Hey, grandma. But I think but you know what? To be real though, not trying to crack a joke, man. I think it is similar though. I think it's similar to the same thing. And we do stuff it inside and I don't do turkey though. I feel like turkey is a little like
Yo, turkey.
It's not as flavorful for me, man. I do chicken, man. I do a hen.
Yeah.
Right. So I do that because I just like it. I just like it better. You know what I mean? And turkey to me is like, it ain't flavorful. It's dry a little bit.
Turkey
You gotta
dry,
make that.
Yo. Turkey
yeah,
dry.
You gotta make it juicy. You gotta go out your way to get that damn turkey juicy.
Like, yo, it gotta cook the perfect time.
Yeah,
like,
everything gotta be perfect, man. So no, I'm not that. Yeah, man. How about you, man?
For Thanksgiving, so I didn't have big expectations for Thanksgiving, but I knew that week I was going to Jacksonville, Florida, to interview my granddad. You know, we had been talking and working our way into figuring out how we were going to do this. I know he had been writing some memoirs on his life, and he wanted, me to get with him and do some audio interview, kind of stuff. So I sat with him. I did the whole audio video thing. I broke out some mics that I never used, lights I never used. I did the whole spread for my granddad, man. He a superstar anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to make sure I handle that. He might be, as far as relevancy to me, he's my oldest living close relative when it comes to relevancy. So I'm glad I was able to sit down with him and have this conversation. And this conversation gets to live forever, in the family, throughout the family, until I guess the technology just changes, because it's funny watching him, because he was big into video and music and stuff. So it's funny watching him try to transfer like VHS to something digital. He got like all these different machines and stuff, because he's doing his best to try to preserve like his history. He was just like, I love music. He loves music, like jazz and, things of that nature. So it's just funny watching him trying to preserve it. So one day, whatever technology I used, it'd be out of date as well. He did a lot of videos of the family and stuff like that. So he got a lot documented. It'd be funny because when I told people like, hey, I'm going to interview my granddad, people like, oh, well, what was he like? Was he like a war hero or something? Yeah, he's just a great man. He lived a life.
Yeah.
I want to sit down with him and talk to him. So that was that conversation put a lot of things into perspective about life, about him. I never realized until sitting with him this time how much he loves to celebrate other people. You know what I'm saying? I watched his 80th birthday. Like they had a video of his 80th birthday, and he went around the room and like pretty much shouted everybody out. Like he had time to speak, and all his speech was about everybody that attended. It wasn't about him at all. And the craziest thing is, and all of that, it is about him, because they were the people that were there for him, throughout the 80 years of his life at that time. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool. And then I got to hang out with my aunt. My aunt that was in the military, lieutenant commander. I got to hang out with her. Her birthday was the day after. So my uncle that was in the military, his birthday was the day before Thanksgiving. Then it's Thanksgiving. Then her birthday was the day after Thanksgiving. So she came over his house because they don't live too. She came over my granddad's house because they don't live too far away, and we had dinner. And then the next day we went to this thing in St. Augustine called Night of Lights. And anybody in the Jacksonville area, if you ever was like me and all you did was go to Jack's Beach, don't sleep on St. Augustine, man. I feel it's probably everybody in the Jacksonville area probably listening like, I never slept on St. Augustine, but I did. All I thought that was there was like the Gator Farm and all that. St. Augustine is super fun. So Night of Lights was based off Christmas, and it was a good time. But I want to go back to the Thanksgiving thing, because I asked you earlier if you celebrated Thanksgiving. And I know you get the family together. I know you cook, but I know Thanksgiving has it's a story behind it. So I was wondering if you celebrated it for that story.
Not really.
Okay, so it's more just the family.
It's more about now over time and things like that, man. We all know the school story and all that type of stuff, man. And I'm not a very deep guy, man. We've been doing it ever since I've been remembering anything. We've been getting together for Thanksgiving. So to me, it's more like a traditional thing now that we just do. But I do know it's a story behind it. But that's not like my thing or what I'm thinking about when I got having Thanksgiving.
Yeah, especially being in the military. Like we don't have a lot of time. Like that's like understood that we could go and travel to visit our family. Yeah, you could go on leave, you go, but a lot of times if you go on leave outside of those designated times, you're going on leave and you leaving like something behind, like whether that be work, something you're working on, whatever. In these months, like November, December, a little bit of January, it's time to go visit your family. It's that kind of slate, that white space where you can go visit your family, man. And it's much appreciated, especially being able to be on shore duty, being able to travel from the DC area to Florida. That's a 10.5-hour drive, man. Being able to take that drive and go see my family and not being overseas, not being on deployment. So I do want to shout out to everybody that's on deployment right now that can't do that. You know what I'm saying? And take it, and don't get too caught up in the holiday and all of that stuff as far as the theme of it. But when you have those moments in time that you could take advantage of, that's if you're not into the theme of it. Let me say that. If you are, and you know the cornucopias and the pilgrims, and if you into all of that, then rock out. But to the people that that get confused about, should I celebrate? Should I? Don't get too caught up in that, man. It's time to go, see your family and enjoy life and have a good time. And actually, whatever you are thankful for. Because we don't get to, people be like, oh, you can do that every day. We don't get to do that every day. We don't do that every day.
There's no doubt. We don't, man.
You know what I'm saying? Was the food good? Food was good? Y'all made some good stuff?
Oh, man. Food was great, bro. We hit that food for like 2-3 days in a row, bro. Like lunch and dinner, like 2-3 days in a row.
Yeah, you gotta hit it. Yeah, man. You have great, to, man. You have to. That mac and cheese. Who made the mac and cheese?
Ella made the mac and cheese. Mac and cheese good. Man, I did do I'm the greens guy, man. I got the greens going. I got I'm the chicken guy, the ham guy, And this time I throw something different on there, man. Like I normally do something different every year because of Mark. Because really, dude, I'm not even tripping, man. Mark does not eat a whole lot of the stuff that we cook for Thanksgiving or Christmas. So I normally do something different for him. So this year, keeping it with tradition, my different thing this year was I throw some tri-tip on there, man.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And so stole that on there, and the kids tore that up too, man. So it was good, man. Because I'm gonna try to keep that going. I know Mark don't eat. Hopefully he here for some more Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. So I'm gonna keep the tradition going. Me cooking something different for his ass.
Man, Mark. It sounded like Mark got out of there, man. And he enjoy your life, man. Mark ain't about to
He deployed, though. He deployed, bro.
Oh, that's where he had your deployment?
Yeah, he deployed, yeah. You right, though. Mark out. I don't blame the young man. Do your thing, boy.
And I'm gonna talk about, my early upbringings in the Navy a little bit later, too. But we got a chief exam coming up. So it's right after the holidays. I never liked that as a first class. Like I never liked that the chief exam was right after the Thanksgiving and Christmas break. Like like right after. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? You know what's crazy, bro? That like until like I ain't gonna say like probably after I made chief, man, I never really thought about it.
Yeah.
Until one day, one of the first classes brought that up to me. It was like, man, why we do this like right after the holidays? Then I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, you right, man. But I never asked when I was up for it though. It never was like man, why they do this shit? I never even thought about it like that. But then when somebody brought it up, I was like, yeah, man, you right, man. That's like couple weeks, if not a week, right after the holidays.
I mean, it's a thing for me. So. Yeah, because you coming back, you normally coming back like the 6th or 7th or something like that.
You ain't studying.
Yeah,
studying.
And then, my goal sometimes used to be to cram. So if I'm cramming, that's that last couple weeks. Like I don't even got that time to cram. You got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I forgot about New Year's. Like you got New Year's right in that mix too. You not about to cram. Man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I did do a road trip though, right? We did a 10.5-hour drive to Florida from DC. I drove about altogether, I'll say about 16 hours. You know what I'm saying? Just back and forth. So that's like 8 hours a piece. Angeline took a good 2 hours each trip. You know what I'm saying? That was what she could do. Angeline. Yeah, that was what she could do. I learned to appreciate it. But in this trip, we made the food stops. Now, mind you, trying to get in shape for Jamaica. But then you on this road trip where you at a standstill, and it's really we didn't want to stop and go to like a restaurant, and I'm sure it's healthy places to eat, but on the way there, we went to Zaxby's, right? So I went to Zaxby's. Everybody got chicken sandwiches. So Zaxby's got a chicken sandwich now. And the chicken sandwich from Zaxby's, and it probably was just where I was, the food, the service wasn't that good either. But this was the South. So even though the service was bad, the people were so polite that you couldn't even get mad at them. You know, it's like that Southern hospitality.
This shit's so
like, yo,
nice in there.
Yeah, like they ran out of salad. Like, you know, they asked the lady, there's like, hey, did you order a such and such salad? She was like, yes, I did. They was like, oh yeah, sorry, we just ran out of salad. The lady had already been waiting for like 20 minutes for this salad. But who goes to Zaxby's for a salad? But that's neither here nor there. So I got my chicken sandwich and it messed my stomach up. For almost the whole time I was in Florida, my stomach, my stomach was messed up. On the way back from Florida, though, I've been hearing so much about this place called Cookout from all my people in Carolina, right? And I guess Cookouts in the Carolina and the Georgia area. I've been hearing so much about Cookout. And this was my time to finally try Cookout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, it was cheap. It was super cheap. I never ate, it was like, because the way the combos at Cookout, are at Cookout, you can order like, it's like you ordering entrees. Like you add an entree. You ever ate at Cookout?
Mm-mm.
So it's like you add an entree to an entree. So it's like, yo, you could order a hot dog, and then as a side, your side could be a quesadilla. You know what I'm saying? And then you could get a milkshake. And all this like $7. Like it's crazy. But the portions were smaller than I thought they were going to be, right?
Yeah.
The portions were small, so it made sense.
That's why you can get all that shit.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, it makes sense, So then I posted, I ordered Cookout, and then I kind of posted like, all right, I finally got to try Cookout. And somebody text me like, yo, the only thing good at Cookout are the milkshakes, And I had I ate it already, right? And I'm like, yo, you're right. The only thing that we had that was good were the milkshakes. And now my people from Carolina, yo, we got some problems, you know what I mean? And I'm from Philly, y'all. I got to stand on the city a little bit. This don't got nothing to do with the Eagles being 10-1, right? Or the Sixers being a great team. I'm from Philly. We got good food in Philly. I will put a cheesesteak from Ishkabibbles against any Cookout in that Carolina area, man. Y'all need to talk to me, man. It ain't hit like y'all said.
I never even heard of that spot. I never even heard of it, but I'm not like, that's probably, you're right. That's probably a Georgia, Carolina thing. I never heard of it though.
Yeah, man. It ain't hit like my Carolina people told me. And now I think they just was saying it because it wasn't around. And the Cookout's expanding.
Because you didn't know nothing about it, so I throw it out there.
I don't do that. If I say something place got good food, it has good food. I think I stared one person wrong with food, but this one person is the most complicated person. If you tell them about a show, it sucks. Like it's like, hey, have you ever seen The Wire? It's one of the best shows ever. Oh yeah, I watched it. It's overrated. Like it's just that kind of person. So, so anything you suggest, they had a bad experience. It must have been me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but but that was good though. That was good road trip. We had a good time. So if nobody knows this, I kind of grew up a little bit in Jacksonville because I joined the Navy from Jacksonville. So I was like 18, 19 in Jacksonville when I joined. Then I left Jacksonville, went back home. Then I went to Jacksonville again a few times while I was in the Navy and had some of the most fun in my life. So it's different now going to Jacksonville, married, kind of like, older. I would say my jersey was in the rafters, in Jacksonville. Both numbers.
That's what you was doing, bro? You was like that?
Both numbers. You don't know what I'm saying. I could have been an Uber driver out there.
I don't know.
What I'm saying?
I'm just asking what it was.
Both numbers though, 23
See,
and
that's why I said, was you like that? I said, was you like that? I ain't say what it was. I ain't clarify what it was.
But I know what you mean when you say that. I came back like Jordan wearing a 45. You know what I'm saying? And they both in the rafters. Both in the rafters. I had, Jacksonville was a great time. I came of age and had some great years there. You know what I'm saying?
That's good, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been trying to get a station in Jacksonville, Mayport area, like all my Navy career, bro, and I ain't never got down there. Let's go for all you freaking lifers down there that don't want to move out of freaking, Jacksonville and stay there like 20 years and shit, and then don't let the next people get down there. So, I feel a certain type of way about you guys down there in Jacksonville, man.
Yeah, man. We need to create a program to make people move places when they don't want to.
I know. Shit.
An incentive, a NAVADMIN or something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so before we go too far in this meaningful time that we're in right now with all of these holidays and a whole new year coming upon us, like in the last week, a lot of audience have reached out, right? For various reasons, right? A lot of our listeners reached out for various reasons. And I just want to thank y'all. I want to thank y'all for reaching out. Like, y'all don't know how much that stuff motivates us. You know, I had somebody say, hey, my senior enlisted leader listens to your podcast. I had somebody else say, a random person, keep going, y'all. Y'all, you know, we like what y'all doing. We appreciate y'all. We hear y'all. Keep going. So I want to thank everybody for taking the time to reach out and just show your love, show us some love and appreciation. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, me too, man. Same thing here, man. It most definitely keep us motivated and keep us going, man. And also keep us on our toes too, though. You know, a lot of different things come up in the Navy, man, and you guys asking us questions about it or whatever. Keep us on our game, man. Because a lot of times, man, we become stagnant. Knowing tribal knowledge and all this type of stuff, man. We need it. Because me and Damo, we big fans of. We putting it out on here. We probably didn't look it up unless it's an opinionated question. If it's opinionated, it's something different. But if it's not, we probably going to look it up. So it keep us on our toes. So keep sending them my way, man. And again, we love you guys. Hit us up, man.
It's funny, like, we started out inspired to do this for like junior sellers, and we have some junior seller listeners. We got a lot of senior leadership that listen too, more than I thought we would have, actually. So I appreciate that too. But with all of that said and everything we just said, I do want to continue to reiterate that we are not the source of information for the Navy. We start with a disclaimer, right? That means that none of those military entities give a damn what we saying or support. I ain't gonna say give a damn. We're not speaking for those military entities. We speaking for us. And a lot of this stuff is our opinion based off our experience. And if it's not our opinion based off our experience, we're pondering something, we thinking about something, are we throwing like paper at a wall, or are we just kind of throwing ideas up? You know, that's what we do here. We not the answer. We not the source. None of that stuff. Make sure y'all go to Navy Times for all. Make sure y'all go to NAVADMIN's instructions and like every place that's solidified for all that kind of information. If we do anything, hopefully we spark a thought in your head or an idea in your head or some shit like that. I do not ever want you arguing with your chief saying, well, on Permission to Speak Freely podcast, Damon said that I need to do this or whatever. Don't ever do that.
Don't do it.
You know what I'm saying? Don't ever do that. I appreciate all the love. And then another thing is, like, if y'all challenging something, that's like that. We open for that, whether it's from us, a guest or anything. And I'm sure it's, any of our guests, are open for, some of that stuff too. Like, ask the questions, make the comments, get the conversation going. Some of that stuff, people have different experiences. So some of that stuff could create some conflict that might be healthy and some stuff that, we could talk through or whatever. So definitely appreciate y'all though. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man. Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right, so I got a question for you, man. I got a question for you. If you had a seller, and this from experience, so I'm talking from somebody kind of gave me a story, and instead of butchering a story, I'm gonna just ask it to you in a question. So let's say you got quarters at like 7:45. Your quarters is at 7:45.
Mm-hmm.
You got a seller that single mom, right? Let's do that. Single mom. Because I'm not trying to make it gender based, but I'm basing it off a real thing that happened, right? So you got a single mom. She has to take her child to childcare, but the doors don't open to take the child to childcare until 8. Right? So she just came, she's stationed here. She got no family here. She in a brand new place. So she tells you, you like, well, quarters is at 7:45. And she like, well, I can't get my child to childcare until about 8. And let's say the childcare is about 15 to 20 minutes away from, away from wherever she would have to report to. So that
How far
means
away?
like 15 to 20 minutes. Let's say it's
Okay,
like
okay,
15 to 20
All right.
minutes. So
Okay.
that means she won't ever be around till like 30 to 45 minutes after quarters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you do? Like, how would you
Ooh,
respond to that?
that's tough, right? So, because you got to take so many things in consideration, man. You got to take other sailors in consideration. You got to take where I'm on sea duty, I'm on shore duty. You got to take the command itself, what the command doing. So all those things in consideration. Now I'm just going to just narrow all that stuff down a little bit and be like, so, because I'm always sailor first, right? I'm trying to figure something out to help the sailor out any way possible, right? So that's what kind of where I'm going to start at with it. But in this situation, man, it most definitely depends. Like, cause I'm telling you right now, if it was shore duty, I know I can work with it, right? Sea duty probably can't work with it too long, because
Sea duty.
because you got
sea duty.
It's different then, right?
And this is sea duty in this predicament, sea duty.
Oh, it's sea duty. Sea duty is hard, and then, but one thing about sea duty, you have family care plans and things like that that's put in place that should be able to, help a sailor out the sea. That's what it's in place for, to make sure you got all these things in place. So that's kind of where you have to draw the line at when it comes to sea duty, is that family care plan. Now, regardless, I'm still going to work with the sailor because the sailor belongs to me and we're going to do this, but this can't be a forever thing, though.
Yeah.
This is me working with you and I'm going to help you out until we get to a different situation. And I'm going to go talk to everybody. I'm going to talk to the CMC. I'm going to talk to everybody to make sure everybody on the same page, because I'm not going to be the only one with the freaking you that know about this, right? So I got to make sure everybody good. But at the same time, I'm going to be working with you to make sure that we get this corrected and fixed, because ain't no way I can have you on sea duty coming in, missing quarters every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's causing for some other sailor to say, what's up with this? You know what I mean? I can just see that stuff happening. Everything starting to get questioned if you keep letting it go on for so long. Right. And the best answer could be, removing her from the command, or him or her from the command.
Yeah.
To make sure that they can be able to do the things they need to do to take care of their family.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything kind of starts with that family care plan, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Or that's the goal, to, develop a family care plan and get something. I think, and I think in this case, the case I'm talking about, that wasn't even a discussion. Like, the family care plan never came up from the leadership, from the sellers leaders. I got another little story, right? Listen, man, I don't even know if I, like, man, how can I tell this story without telling this story? So
it's supposed to be a good one, bro.
The results came out, right? So I know somebody in California. I know somebody in Cali, right? And the seller came up to them and was like, "Oh man, I missed it by 1 point, whatever, 86, whatever they missed it by."
Yeah.
But if I would have, but they didn't count my NAM, so I pretty much made it. You know what I'm saying? So and that happens, right? That happens a lot, right? So
it does.
So it's like, well, what NAM? It's like a NAM from my last command. You know what I mean? So seller goes. So they like, all right, well, they like, I never got it, the command, whatever. So it's like, all right, well, just get it, hit the command up, get your NAM. So the seller, presents the NAM, to the command, and, the command like, well, we need a 1650. You know what I'm saying? That's like,
So they presented the award to the new command?
Well, not present like at a presentation,
Okay,
but
yeah, like trying to write it up, though, right?
Like, like, can you add this to my record because it was from the last command, and it's like, well, we need the 1650, and it's like, all right, that might take a little bit, but I'll reach out. Now, if you sending me my NAM that you never put in my record, you sending me my 1650. You know what I'm saying?
Together.
Like that's, so 1650 comes. I'm going to make a real long story short here. Command looks at the 1650, right? And notice that the signature and the date lines don't line up with the actual 1650. So it's like if you forge a document, right, and you copy the CO signature, you copy the CO signature, and you try to line it up as much as possible, but it's like dark and a little bit off. And it was just the CO signature and the date. The seller worked with somebody from the old command that they came from and got a forged document, man. So, so they like, well, so damn, this story. So man calls YNC or whatever. YNC, they're like, yo, that's forged. Like we never, like that seller never got that. They might have got a flock for that or something, but they never got a name for that. That's not, you see this.
Oh,
so then the seller, so then the seller, like, well, forget about it. It's too much. I'm going through stuff. I'm too stressed out. It's too much. But the seller know that. Like, the walls closing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, I tell you, man.
You gotta be. And I had a friend of mine who did it was a BAH fraud, right? So they come to the command and they like, yo, I've been married for X amount of time, but I wasn't getting BAH or whatever, right? And the chief, I might have told this story on the pod, man. And they asked the chief, like, what to do. And the chief was like, well, just, we need the chit. And they like, well, from the ship, I can't, the chief like, just get something. Just, just get a chit. Like,
yeah,
just get something, right? So it's almost like, well, shit something. You know what I mean? Like just pull something out your ass. And I remember driving, because it was a thunderstorm. I remember driving, I actually did tell this story before, but I remember driving home with my man in the car, and he was like, oh yeah, I talked to Chief, and I told him that like, they never got it. The command might have lost it. But boom. He was like, and Chief was like, we just need something. He is like, so I'm like, yo, you sure? like, I'm like, yo, you sure? I'm like, I wouldn't trust that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't trust. I'm like, are you sure you want to do that? And he was like, and they got caught because they had been in communication with the old command, and the old command found an actual chit. You know what I'm saying? So then he got caught for forging. You know what I'm saying? So when he got caught for forging, what you think his response was when they asked him about it?
Just don't worry about it right now, man.
No. So when they asked the young seller about it, right? The young seller was like, well,
the YNC said just give him something.
This ain't even the YNC. This EMs. This EM shit. This is a whole different story.
Okay.
But when they asked the young seller about forging this BAH chip, he was like, well, Chief, that's but that was the answer though. He was like, well, Chief said to do it like this, give him some, And Chief pretty much told him, like, yo, keep my name out that shit, man. Like, I don't got nothing to do. And then Chief was like, I don't got nothing to do with that shit, man. You on your own, man. You on your own. And it's crazy because my man, and it's funny because anybody that was stationed, because it's funny because I be telling these stories and people that was stationed with me, they be like, yo, I remember that. Like, that was, but like, it's funny because like, my man got off because Chief
because of that.
Chief was involved, so he got out of that. But this the same dude that had me in the dumpster pulling tags.
Oh,
and this was like the next week, bro. Like the next week after he got off, bro. It was like the next week. It was
what?
These things might have intertwined with each other. Like they might have been like, yo, we gonna let you off for this because you in deep shit. Because of this or something like that. I forgot what happened.
I tell you one thing, boy. He took that literally though, right? Give me something. He took that to the next level.
Yo,
give me something.
Yeah, he found something. Yo, that's what the dude said. Find something. Like something. It was like, yo, find something.
Something.
Something. And I don't know if that's like an old school, thing with Chiefs or whatever, but like you can't do stuff like that, man.
Oh no, not no more.
Like you can't hint that.
Yeah.
You can't hint to a seller to like just find something, man.
Just find something. Yeah, you probably could have did that, the old freaking fireman leggings, because I was trying to do shit to straight and narrow. You're scared to death and shit. Now you say, do give me something, boy. Kids thinking goddamn 8 different things they can come up with, man.
I mean, this was a while ago. This was a nice while ago, man. Like 2012, 2013. So this was a nice while ago, man. I don't even know if it's kids. I don't even know if it's young.
Well, it probably ain't like that. You right though. That's probably what it is. You just gotta watch what you say now. Period. You know what I mean? You just gotta watch it. You gotta, if you ain't got the right answer or what the right thing to say, don't say nothing.
Say that, man. Because somebody gonna take that however they. And it's funny because I know he meant to just. He meant to pull something. He meant to do, like he told him. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying it. He expressed to that seller that he wanted that seller to get something no matter what, and he was gonna sign that shit. And that seller got something no matter what. He signed that shit. Then he got to buy that shit. I love everybody involved, and that was just a story. That was just a story of something that happened in the past. So I'm gonna read something real quick before we get into Hero of the Week. Like one topic. I'm gonna read something real quick. It says, and this gonna be heavy, man. I'm gonna tell you straight. It's heavy. This a heavy thing. It says, I am packing. Matter of fact, everybody that's listening, heavy warning. It's about to be kind of heavy. It says, I am packing my desk tomorrow, right? I am packing my desk tomorrow because I don't want my dad to have to get the phone call and come do it himself. Always knew I wasn't going to make it out of this command alive. I don't know why I tried so hard. I was mapped. I got the EPs. I worked my ass off. But if you're a woman, that doesn't matter. I have a first class that started making trans jokes because I cut my hair. I asked him kindly to stop over and over again. Today, I said I'd take it up the chain. I snapped. Keep that same energy because I'll come with you when you do. This is the same first class that got away with making fun of sellers for going into inpatient care. Oh, I bet it was all an act. They did it to make our command look bad, not because they need help. This is the same first class who put his hands around my neck. I'll show you your place. You belong in the kitchen. Boy. The problem is we were both mapped, but I am one rank too shy to be taken seriously. And I get told to play nice because I am a woman. I don't feel safe going into work tomorrow, but I have to clean out my desk. I can't just leave it like that. I am cleaning out my desk, so when they call my dad to tell him I committed suicide, he doesn't have to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that oh man, that is deep, bro.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I read it on Reddit.
Man, that's crazy. Now, and you know, for everybody who's like listening and just heard that story that Damo just said, that shit is freaking happening. And for anybody out there that think it's not happening and people think it's joking and people thinking it's whatever, man, this crap is happening out there. And it's happening to your sailors, your soldiers, you know, Marines, you know, everybody, man. This is happening. And I tell you, the mentality of just suck it up is over with, man. Ain't nobody sucking nothing up. People need to be held accountable for crap like this, man, because this is happening.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And what's really crazy about it, because people been having they mouth, you know, closed for a long time on this stuff, and people just been dealing with it. People been bottling it up. All this stuff, man, it's been happening for years and years and years. People not talking about it because they, you know, think they may get in trouble for bringing it up. That stuff is over with now, right? We need to hold people accountable, and that's the leadership too. A lot of times I have seen, and probably in some circumstances like this, where leadership will freaking just brush it under the rug, right? That's how damn near the whole command get changed out, for brushing shit like this under the rug, because ain't nobody gonna sit back no more and brush shit under the rug. We'll take it off the command to another command, whatever we have to do to make sure people get held accountable for stuff like this, man. This is a mom, a dad that has sent this sailor or soldier or whoever to the military, thinking they doing great, and and they out there getting treated like this. This is bullshit.
Yeah, man. Perfectly said. This seemed like a good seller. From our explanation, seems like a good seller. And like you said, some of this stuff, hands around the neck. Some of this stuff is just
crazy. It's crazy
bad.
to me. And think about this for a second, man. Like me, like I got my daughter in the Navy, and somebody put their hands around her neck. Come on, man. I done sent my daughter to the Navy to do great things, to see the world and get education and do all this stuff. And somebody out there done got their hands around a freaking neck. That's crazy.
Yeah. And one thing I just want to say just to the Chiefs, and this is not as an authority of anything, but just as an ex-semio, sometimes we get to these points where we feel like we can like impose, the respect that they have for us or whatever into these situations. And we want to chief our way through some of these situations. As a semio, I've been in a situation where a seller did something, and the chief was, doing a great job, being a chief. He's like, hey, bro, how can I help? I'm gonna go down there and whip him a new one, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And was fully engaged in the situation. But it's like, some of these situations, you need support, and they need to get reported at a higher level. You going down there, but you thinking you nip something in the bud. Like sometimes it's not nipped in the bud. Like sometimes this shit come up when they leave the ship. You know what I'm saying? We had a situation like that on shore duty where they fought. And this was me, actually. I thought I handled it and I was a first class. I thought I handled it on the lowest level. I thought I took care of it, and then they fought. It was a guy and a lady and a man. They got into a fight, and it came back to the command. And when it came back to the command, it was like, well, EM1 knew because he stopped us before, and here I go thinking I'm, doing what I'm supposed to do, but I stopped them before. And, I had to get, talk to, kind of counsel, mentored about, don't be the senior person with the secret. It don't matter if you think you figured it out, and I think a lot of times as chiefs, these things happen, and I'm not speaking for every chief, but I've seen some situations where these things happen and somebody might like have laughed something off or thought it wasn't too serious or thought that was how their people, play with each other, or even the other part try to think that they just gonna chew everybody's ass and it's over. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes these things extend past that point. And sometimes sellers feel the effects of that, where they like, Chief tried everything he could do. I tried everything she could do, but it didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? So I do want us to kind of know that, like, it don't have to stop at us, man.
Yeah. That's a good example too, bro. Because that stuff happens too, man, where we think we handling shit, and think it's over with. Then that shit come back to bite you in the ass, man. So you're most definitely a good example.
Yeah, you like always do. Look, I got to work today, man. I left the gym. I've been going to the gym. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But I've been going to the gym a lot. Man, still stinky people in there, though. You know what I'm saying? Still like some smelly dudes. It was a smelly dude in the gym earlier. He like, yo, you want to like, can I work in with you? I'm like, you can take the machine. like you ain't got to work in with me. Just take this joint, man. But when I get into work, I get into the office and dude in a cubicle right behind me, right? He like, bro, he like, man, I just found out I lost one of my old sellers. The seller had, got out the Navy or whatever by this time, but he was like, the seller committed suicide on Thanksgiving Day. You know what I'm saying? I think the seller had been through a divorce or something like that. Yeah. So like, I said happy holidays at the end of the last episode. If anybody made it all the way to the end of the last episode, I said happy holidays, but I said that with a heavy heart because this time of year, we joked around in the beginning about like potluck season, but this time of year is, you really do need to keep an eye out on some of your people that might have just lost somebody, some of your people that might have had a tough time this year, went through divorce, lost people during COVID. Like, it's just time to just kind of perk up, because a lot of things happen at this time of year. It's people's first Christmas without people first New Year without people first Thanksgiving without the matriarch of the family sometime. And sometimes these things get hard for people and they just lost in their thoughts. They're left alone in their thoughts, and it's not always the best place to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, man.
I actually think I have some resources for people just in case. I think I emailed myself some resources just in case. I don't know if I'm be able.
Yeah, man. You want to make sure you're reaching out, man. It's a hard time for people, man. There's people out there that could have lost their mom, could have lost their dad, somebody who they've been with every Thanksgiving or every Christmas or every whatever. And now this could be the first, time that's not going to happen.
Yeah, bro.
And so sometimes you want to, have somebody to talk to, have somebody to call, so they can help them handle it, because right now, I mean, people, you can think you can handle it. Oh, I got this. I know. Yeah. But once it comes down to it and comes around, man, it's a whole different story. Once you really start getting thought about it and really start thinking about it, it starts to change a little bit. You start in your head a little bit more. That's when you need somebody to talk to.
Yeah, man. And sometimes your brain is the last thing. I always talk about that last episode. We always talk about cancer and stuff, but sometimes your brain is the last thing to find out, what you're going through. And when it happens, you break. Like your spirit might have already known. Your body might have already known. And they trying to tell your brain, like, yo, we is too much right now. It's too much. Because you might be strong-willed. Like, I know I'm a strong-willed person. So I know the moment that, my brain realizes that, hey, you can't do it. That's going to be a hard time for me. But I do have a few resources. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-TALK. So that's 1-800-273-8255. Military Crisis Line, 1-800-273, also 8255. The Navy Suicide Prevention Handbook. You could just Google that, find that. And then also the One Small Act Toolkit is another thing that you could find. And you could find that in my Navy HR. You could also Google it, One Small Act Toolkit. And these are some things that could help, if you got a healthy EASC program, a healthy, some culture of excellence elements and stuff like that also could help, good. So that's a few good resources for somebody that might be going through some stuff. All right, man. It's that time.
It's that time, bro.
Well, before we talk about the Enlisted marketplace, right? Because I know some people probably want to hear that. You want to get into the Hero of the Week first?
Yeah, man. Let me knock this Hero of the Week out, man. This is a good one, man. This is a real good one I got for you guys this time, man. Is Gunnery Sergeant John Canley, United States Marine Corps. And before I get into his citation, he also has a ESB 6 named after him out of San Diego. Not too long got commissioned for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty and action against the enemy while serving as Company Gunnery Sergeant, Company A, 1st Battalion, 1st Marine Division from 31 January to 6 February 1968 in the Republic of Vietnam. Company A fought off multiple vicious attacks as he rapidly moved along the highway towards Way City to relieve friendly forces that were surrounded by enemy forces. Despite being wounded in these engagements, Gunnery Sergeant Canley repeatedly rushed across fire-swept terrain to carry his wounded Marines to safety. After his commanding officer was severely wounded, Gunnery Sergeant Canley took command and led company into Way City. At Way City, caught in deadly crossfire from enemy machine gun position, he set up a base of fire and maneuvered with a platoon in a flanking attack that eliminated several enemy positions. Retaining command of the company for 3 days, he led attacks against multiple enemy fortified positions while routinely braving enemy fire to carry wounded Marines to safety. On 4 February, he led a group of Marines into an enemy-occupied building in Way City. He moved into the open to draw fire, located the enemy, eliminated the threat, and expanded the company's hold on the building room by room. Gunnery Sergeant Canley then gained position above the enemy's strong point and dropped in a large satchel charge that forced the enemy to withdraw. On 6 February, during a fierce firefight at a hospital compound, Gunnery Sergeant Canley twice scaled a wall in full view of the enemy to carry wounded Marines to safety. By his undaunted courage, selfless sacrifice, and unwavering devotion to duty, Gunnery Sergeant Canley reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest tradition of Marine Corps and United States Naval Service.
Damn.
Man, let me, say a couple things real quick by Gunnery Sergeant John Canley. Man, one is, a lot of times when the commanding officer get wounded or anything like that, you probably get told to stand down or, finish whatever you're doing, and then we'll get you a new commanding officer there or whatever the case may be. So that lets you know already the leadership that Gunnery Sergeant Canley already has, that they had the confidence in him to keep going, and not only keep going, go out there and do multiple clearing buildings and doing things like this is like crazy to even hear, man. So his leadership, you already know, is on a whole nother level. And he most definitely deserved what he got.
Yeah. Leadership, that's the biggest thing when I think of this. Leadership, and all of this is leadership. This, sometimes we like different ones we talk about. It's like individual performances and stuff. This is leadership all the way through and through, even up to where he's scaling a wall in full view of the enemy to carry wounded Marines to safety. Man, that's like, bro, everything. Leading from the front, leading from the side, in the mix. That's every aspect of leadership right there. Another thing that I think about, though, is the year that he was assigned to this, the year that he was serving with this company in this battalion. Mm-hmm. The year is 1968. So it says from January to February 1968. And when you think about, and I ain't going to get into it, right? But when we think about, first off, what type of war that the war in Vietnam was, and then what the hell was going on back home in America, mm-hmm. right? When you think of what was going on back home in America, that's a span of time, a very small span of time where we lose JFK, we lose Dr. Martin Luther King, and we lose a lot of prominent leaders in the civil rights movement, and just a lot of things that got to do with American rights and stuff like that. And to see this guy and everybody that, served at the time, like kind of like put their head down and, fight for our country, is always like honorable to me, man. There's so much going on back home, and the only reason why I think about this is because I think about what some of these people had to deal with when they got back home.
Yeah.
Some of these people, and I hear a lot of stories about some of those wars, and Vietnam being another one. Some of those people had to deal with a lot when they got back home. So, I commend some of the strides that we made when it comes to Veterans Affairs. And I know we got a long way to go as well when it comes to Veterans Affairs. But I don't want to not say salute to Gunnery Sergeant John Canley, because, man, he did a hell of a job leading his people through.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, through tough times overseas and tough times in our country, man. So that's commendable. Super commendable. You know what I'm saying? That's good, man. We've been having some good heroes of the week recently. We've been having a lot of good heroes of the week.
Oh, yeah. All
right.
Well deserved.
Last week, well, before we even talk about this, let's talk about this one other thing real quick. The new NAVADMIN came out, right? And I know y'all think we about to say NAVADMIN 26122, and we are. But that ain't the one I'm gonna bring up first. 25922 came out. Cause it ain't been a lot of NAVADMINs recently like that came out kind of focused on like junior sellers. There's been some regular standard NAVADMINs and stuff like that. But this one, 25922, some of the changes to the eval manual. So the last one on here says includes the option for a service member to request an immediate superior in command review of performance evaluation. Right? Did you read that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, is that new? It is new, right? So what's your thoughts on that?
One more time. Which that was 259, right?
25922. Yeah. So it says summary of changes. It's mad different changes. It's a few different changes, right?
Yeah.
But change F is the option for a service member to request for an immediate superior in command review of the eval.
You know, I don't want to get too deep. I mean, I think it's.
So let me give you a scenario. The GSE1 scenario. The episode we had GSE1 on here.
Yeah.
Would that help? That would have helped them, right?
Yep. And I think that's where I ain't gonna say, to be honest with you, man, that's stories like that is where this came from. You know, stories like that come from all these, from Semio to all these surveys we do, all these focus groups we do. Some things like this come out of it, man. And this to me is a positive thing. Now, with all that being said, I just hope it stays like this, and I hope it's something that can
control the flood.
We can control it, and we can focus on the stuff that is needed for. You know what I mean? I can see right now somebody having some jacked up shit or don't think they deserve what they got and trying to do something like this. So I'm assuming it's gonna be something in place. Say, this is what it is.
Everybody can't go.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you're right, man. Jet, that would have helped him like a ton.
Yeah, who knows? All right, that was a quick one. I don't want to get too deep into that. I think that's all the thoughts on that. But let's get into what we came to get into, man.
Yeah.
NAVADMIN 26122, right? I'm going to read through a lot of this, but stop me whenever you deem necessary. And we're going to talk through it. Real time. Senior Enlisted Marketplace, it says E9 billet-based advancement, right? So this is the first phase in a process that will ultimately include all chief petty officers. And then later we get into that. It's actually going to be from the E5 ranking up, right? Fundamental change in how the Navy advances senior enlisted leaders. It's funny thing about this NAVADMIN is I was like highlighting like important like parts of it. And I just found myself like highlighting the whole
thing. Yeah.
I found myself like highlighting this whole shit.
It's crazy like that.
So
for real.
And for the junior sellers, I'm sorry, that is no major NAVADMIN that came out for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's coming though.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. And now this one though, before we get back into it, this one, some of us knew this was coming because the CMCs were having their symposiums. And so some of us heard about this. That's how NAVADMIN's starting to be, man. They starting to be like these things you hear about before they drop, man.
Yeah, man. I knew it was coming too.
Yeah, some of us knew this was coming. So it says fundamental change in how the Navy advances senior enlisted leaders, right? So the first phase, eligible E8s, with the exception of those listed in paragraph 2, right? So these are the exceptions, right? Command SELs, right? That program, submarine, surface nuclear, musician, naval special warfare are reserve component. Sellers in those communities will continue to be advanced and detailed via the legacy process, right? All right, so let's get back to it. All eligible E8s, with the exception of the ones I just talked about, will be screened, not selected by an E9 board, right? So you screen. Those who successfully screen will not be automatically advanced, right? But you'll be given an opportunity to apply for an E9 position, right? So to advance to E9, you must be matched, the E8 must be matched to an E9 position via My Navy assignment. observe the prescribed tour length and complete any en route training and actually report to the ENOM billet. You got anything yet?
Hey, right there, man. For me, to be honest with you, man, I like all of it. I like all of that right there. No doubt. I understand how it's been for years and how we do things or whatever, but I like the fact that you can go fill a E9 billet, right? Not stuck at the same command that you at, because you're not filling that same billet no more, right? You filling an E9 billet, right? So, I have some issues with some other things, like when you say go fill the E9 billet, like what if it's not any E9 billets to fill and stuff, like I got questions like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What if it's not one?
This thing got answers. This NAVADMIN got answers to that though.
Yeah, it got answers, but it ain't got the answers you want to really hear. But go ahead though.
It says candidates must have their commanding officer's recommendation to advance, and that's the eval, right? The normal eval recommendation, right? And must meet normal time and rate requirements. Correct. Now, somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the normal evaluation, right? Damo.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Then it's a screening board. So and whenever I say SIM, I'm talking about senior enlisted marketplace, right? So the SIM screening board operates the same as the legacy E9 selection board, with the exception that it will provide a list of E8s eligible to apply for E9 positions, right? And it will identify up to the top 15 of screen E8s as merit screened. Following the SIM E9 screening board, a NAVADMIN will announce the results with a full listing of those screened and will indicate those that are merit screened with an asterisk next to their name. Right? So merit screen sellers are those E8s whose records contain documents sustained performance consistently superior to the performance of other sellers screened for advancement by the board. Right? So you kind of getting weighed against.
Yeah. And it's and it says 15%, you know.
Yeah.
Man, that's kind of, and you guys, I'm thinking about this in real, a little bit of real time too, man. Like, for example, you know, you got 15%, but right now on my Navy assignments, you got 3 billets for Master Chief. You got 3 billets for Master Chief, and you got freaking 15%, you know, plus some other thing that you about to read later. You know, it's going to be a lot, right? You got 3 open billets for probably like 60, 70, 80 people. You know, that's kind of like, I don't know. Go ahead, man.
Merit screen sellers will be given numerical advantage in the seller scoring criteria used to determine E9 assignments, right? And they're going to describe that below in this whole thing, right? The criteria. Mm-hmm. And will receive concierge detailing. Nice. Concierge detailing, right? So that's merit screen sellers will be contacted. So concierge detailer pretty much means that you're going to be contacted by the detailer if you're not being recommended for selection to one of your top 2 E9 job preferences during the cycle, during the My Navy assignment cycle. In this conversation, merit screen sellers you got 3 options. Agree to a lower preference E9 assignment, so just not the one you want. Agree to another E9 assignment not previously on the list, so the detailer got like another little bag of tricks. Or turn down lower priority orders in order to participate in future My Navy assignment cycles within the 24 months of eligibility. So that's the first time they brought up this 24 months of eligibility.
Yep.
Which means that's how long you in that window to pick them E9 orders. Then after that 20 months.
Hey, so that first year, whatever, right? You could pick with that same group, but that next year of that 24 months, meaning it's going to be another screening done, right? Because they're going to screen every year, right? So it'd probably be another batch of senior chief that be in that next window for your 24 months.
Yeah. So here's where things get questionable for me. And what I mean by questionable is not questionable I disagree, but questionable like I have questions, right? So marketplace, beginning with the August 2023 My Navy assignment cycle, both current E9s in our detailing window and the E8 successfully screened at the SCM E9 screening board will be able to apply and compete for E9 jobs.
I got a problem with that. That's my problem too. If they don't know if that's your problem, that's my problem. My
I just
problem.
said questions. I said questions. I ain't say problem.
Okay, I got a problem.
What's your problem?
Well, first off, which it didn't explain well, I don't think, is how they gonna score, right? How they gonna score you, right? And what I think about first off, like say you got that 15% of the E8s, those 15% of the E8 is going to compete with the Master Chiefs that's already in your rating group, right? So you all competing for that billet, so it can say if it's only 4, you got all the couple of those current Master Chiefs going to be there. Then all those senior Chiefs is going to be there. I just don't know how that scoring will work and who would it benefit, right? Because I think of it, and I'm not thinking of it as just a senior Chief. I'm thinking about it as a Master Chief too, right? So, which I'm not a Master Chief, but what I'm thinking about is like a Master Chief that's been helping senior Chiefs and Chiefs for a long time, right? He ain't got no collaterals. You know what I mean? He can't make E10. He probably ain't looking for the best evals every time. So will they be? How they gonna score that for them to compete with the senior Chiefs? Because you can have a hot running senior Chief that got all the collaterals, got all the freaking good evals and superior performance and all this type of stuff. So I also thought about that, like how they gonna really score this, to make it competitive and make it, equal across the board.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I think that the scoring criteria is supposed to be out by the 30th. So the scoring criteria is supposed to be out. I don't know if we got time to find it and go through it. So in accordance with this NAVADMIN, it says that the SSC will be available on the Detail and Marketplace website by 30 November 2022. So that was days ago.
Yeah, data first, yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably available somewhere. I can see if I can find it. Maybe I don't know.
I'm looking forward to.
So yeah, it's competitive. So you got you a EA up for E9 and you competing with some E9s, right? And then like everything that you just said. Hopefully we find it so we could actually see what it is, because that was one of the things that I didn't understand either, was the scoring, the scoring criteria. And maybe they ain't know that somebody was going to find this date and actually talk about it and figure this out. But also, I'm not going to go too crazy into the cycles, because it's a lot of stuff that got to do with the cycles as far as the months that you're eligible and stuff like that. But it says that if you're not aligned to an E9 assignment after 24 months, that's 10 cycles, the member will lose their screen status and be detailed as an E8 at their PRD per current detailing policies. In such a case, the member will be reconsidered at the next E9 screening board if they continue to meet all eligibility requirements.
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm good with that.
All right, then here are the marketplace outcomes for screened E8s, right? Number 1, match to an E9 position. So the member could be frocked as early as 30 days prior to transfer, will permanently advance to E9 upon reporting to the E9 billet following completion of any required schools. No type commander manning actions such as cross-decks, diverts, or TAD for sellers assigned via the SIM unless deemed absolutely essential by the applicable fleet N1. Option 2, choose another E8 assignment. Sellers within that PRD window who choose to be matched to another E8 position will lose their screen status at that point, but will be reconsidered by the next SIM E9 screening board if they retain all eligibility requirements. So you still got to perform, right?
Yep.
Number 3, it says not matched to a follow-on position during the first year. Upon passing the PERS 8 performance eligibility review, May through June, these sellers will maintain their screen status, including merit status, if applicable, for an additional year, and will be automatically added to the next screening board announcement, NAVADMIN. So yeah, you're going to be on that next one, like you said. It says, these sellers may then participate in the following August through April M&A cycles, but may need to request a PRD shift with PERS 4. Any thoughts on that?
No, that's good. I mean, that's good.
All right. Exceptions and limitations, right? If a seller is unable to report to their E9 assignment, the seller's command must contact PERS 4 immediately. Make the seller unavailable to their detailer as prescribed. And, reference B, can continue tracking to the original E9 assignment if available. If the original assignment is no longer available, the seller and their command must work with the detailer to determine a course of action for follow-on E9 assignment. Otherwise, the seller will enter the E8 marketplace per current detailing policies. E8 sellers who are already under orders to an E8 billet when the SIM screening message is released will normally execute those orders and serve at least 1 year at the gain of command. Special when incentive pay screen, E8s receiving special duty incentive pay will continue to receive it if they continue to serve as special duty incentive pay eligible billet upon advancement to E9. If not yet receiving the benefit when advanced to E9, you are not eligible to start special duty incentive pay until completion of your service obligation for E9. Higher tenure, E8 sellers approaching a higher tenure. Length of service, you remain eligible unless precluded by policy. Screen E8s who actively participate in the marketplace will have their higher tenure loss gate suspended, but not to exceed, as applicable, but not to exceed 24 months. So that's the NAVADMIN. But I got the frequently asked questions.
I got one thing in that paragraph you just read. Just to make sure I'm clear, it says something about your old command could reach out to PERS and take you off the list.
It says
of being eligible.
It says if you're unable to report to your E9 assignment, the seller's command must contact PERS immediately. And if applicable, make the seller unavailable to their detailer as prescribed. Because then that means if you can't report, that means then that's going to open up that for somebody that can.
Okay. And only way I asked that question, man, is because to me that almost sounds like if you deployed and your command still needs you at the command and you won't be able to make it. Right. So you saying, hey, I can't let this sailor go, so he cannot become a master chief. That's not what it's. That's not what how you reading that.
I was reading it. I mean, you reading it with a darker tone or whatever. I was reading it like if you was like medically, like if something was wrong with you, like medical, and you was on like medical hold or whatever. I mean, that's nefarious. If somebody command do that, that's nefarious, man.
Like, that's beast mode.
Yeah,
man.
if somebody command do that, like that's wild. You know what I'm saying? That's nefarious, man.
Go, bro. I need you here.
That's wild. So, but it's like, so if I get orders as a senior chief, if I'm not up for master chief and I'm 2 years into a 5-year billet, I'm leaving this command early now.
If you get picked up,
if there's no master chief billet,
right? I don't think because you're not screening though, so you can stay at your command because you're not screening.
What you mean by that?
Like you said, you're not eligible, right?
No, like I wasn't eligible, but now I am, and I screen. Okay. 2 years into my 5-year tour, I am eligible and I screen.
Yeah, you can leave. You can leave, man, because it only says 12 months there. All you gotta do is like 12 months there, and you are eligible.
Yeah. Damn. I guess the Navy got it.
And I asked that same question. That's a question I was asking when I was talking to this amongst my. Amongst everybody at work, man, we was asking that same thing. So how many gap billets now they could possibly be?
Yeah.
At least for a little while until the detailer get them filled, but that's some gap billets could be there. Yeah. Here and there anyway.
Yeah, I guess that year you got to fill that gap or something. All right, so this is the bluff from the fact sheet, right? So it says this process better aligns seller talent with unit job requirements and seeks to advance sellers who are committed to stay in Navy. The change also aims to reduce disruption to sellers, families, and commands when sellers are realigned to positions that match that pay grade outside of their normal permanent change of station timelines, right? So that's a talking point. Then I see the FAQ, right? Now I got a question about FAQs, bro, and maybe you can answer this, right? Mm-hmm. So FAQ, for anybody that doesn't know, it stands for frequently asked questions, right? So when the FAQ gets released the same exact day as the NAVADMIN, who the fuck is asking these questions frequently? What's so funny, man? I'm trying to curse that too.
Look, Damo, I don't know, we've been right. I knew you was about to say this, man. That's why I'm laughing. I knew you was about to say this ahead of time. But you are like correct, man.
It's bothering me. Like
they were trying to answer the questions before you asked the questions, man.
Like, who's asking it? Like the people that wrote the NAVADMIN? Like, and for the people that wrote the NAVADMIN, who are y'all? Let me see who y'all are.
Well, hold up. Why you getting that together? Let me say this, man. This goes back to, I know where these questions came from. They came from, a bunch of people sitting in a room, which they call a focus group, and you guys asked them, right? But I want to know, me and Damo want to know why we wasn't part of that focus group. We are tired of being on the sideline on all these focus groups and these questions get asked and you guys come up with all this stuff. We want to be part of this focus group. Let's go now. Come on.
Yeah, but how
many to speak freely. Let's do this.
Yeah, how many times the question got to be asked to be considered frequently asked? Like, if you drop this off, yeah. If I drop this off to a room full of people and the shit get asked twice, like, oh yeah, that was a frequently asked. They pulling this shit up. Hey, they pulling this shit up. They ass like the chief told my man to do, man.
Something.
These ain't no.
They ask it twice, bro. It's a trend, bro.
These ain't frequently asked questions, man. These are not frequently. Y'all on some bullshit, man. To be honest.
Hey. Fucking anybody can answer them damn questions they asking on there, man.
It's just clarity. That's just clarity. But I'm gonna go over some of these because I can't lie, y'all. Some of these are good. I would have asked some of these, but I'm just trying to get down to the brass tacks. Like, it don't make sense when y'all say these questions are frequently asked. So it says who's eligible? Yeah, how the hell you get the frequently? Yeah, that just don't make sense. Same day, frequently asked questions. Who is eligible for billet-based advancement based on the NAVADMIN? And it's funny because these frequently asked questions came out before the NAVADMIN, bro. Because
there's a date on it, bro.
Yeah. Nah, look, because it says XXX22. Like they hadn't even numbered the NAVADMIN before they came out with the frequently asked questions. I promise you. Look at the fact sheet, y'all. Look at the fact sheet. It says Senior Enlisted Marketplace fact sheet, November 2022, Bluff. The Navy announced changes to the Enlisted Advancement System and NAVADMIN XXX22. That means it wasn't numbered yet. We got to do better, man. We
love you
better.
Guys, but we got to do better, man.
All right. It says, who is eligible for billet-based advancement based on the NAVADMIN XXX22? EA sellers who are eligible for the fiscal year 2024 Active Duty Master Chief Officer Selection Board and who are successfully screened as eligible candidates for advancement to E9. So fiscal year 2024. Right? So that's the first one. I'm not going to get into like too much of what will the new process look like because we talked about it. But it says it's the same as two boards at this point. Active Duty Master Chief Petty Officer, Advancement Selection, Senior Enlisted Marketplace, Screening Bar is one board, just a long name. Spring of 2023, right? So that's the first time this board is going to happen, spring of 2023. What will happen to sellers who aren't screened to compete in the Senior Enlisted Marketplace? Sellers who do not successfully screen to compete in this marketplace, but who remain advancement eligible in all respects, will be screened during next fiscal year's board. Okay. And that's common sense, right? When will it transition to the other ranks? So that's a big deal. In time, billet-based advancements are expected to become the standard for E5 through E9 enlisted sellers. Now, does this help attract new sellers?
I don't see it.
Okay.
I don't see it right now, bro.
All right. I don't know. I ain't even gonna get too deep into that one. E8 eligible sellers are as soon as 2024. That's the fiscal year 2025 board season, and E7 eligible sellers to be announced later. Right. And then of course, like every other thing that the Navy has to offer, we got a flow chart, man. Let's make this as simple as possible. We got this flow chart. It says Senior Chief eligible for E9 screening board. Down arrow, screening board occurs. You know you didn't pass the board. You either screen eligible or screen eligible with merit reorder. You go on a list of eligible sellers. You apply for a job, select the billet, accept job, pass billet screening, observe, frock the Master Chief within 30 days prior to transfer. Report to your billet, and then you get advanced upon reporting. Right?
I like that though. You get paid right away. That's a good thing.
You think you get paid right away?
Yeah, I'm assuming that what that means. I'm assuming they said that because, why would you point that out? You know what I mean?
I guess
because you get frock. You already said you're gonna get frock 30 days. You can get frock 30 days prior. Why would you point that little bit out? You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking anyway.
All right, so I got some more frequently asked questions, and one of these was kind of funny. Oh yeah, this is the first. This chick right here, man. It says I'm listed on the screening board NAVADMIN, but I don't have an asterisk next to my name. What does that mean? That mean you ain't top 15, dog. That mean you wasn't the top 15%, my guy.
That mean you ain't gonna get that phone call probably, bro.
Yeah. You're not gonna get that concierge service, man. Do better, dog. Do better, man. Lead more sellers, man. That's what
Sorry, bro.
That asterisk ain't by your name, man. You don't got sustained superior performance, man. Work harder, man.
It's almost like when your name ain't on that list, bro. You get that same feeling.
Who asked that? And then frequently asked, who asked? Nobody asked that question. That's pretty obvious. I don't even think if somebody had that question, these things break it down enough that you would not have that question. And if you did, you wouldn't ask it. Hey, there's no asterisk by my name. What does that mean?
Hey, I want to know, how did that question make the trends? You know what I mean? To make the list. Yeah.
Who the fuck thought that be? Why do y'all think we that stupid to ask that dumb ass question? So matter of fact, let's see how politically correct this answer is. All sellers listed on a screening board announcement are considered successfully screened by the board and eligible for advancement. Sellers with the asterisk next to their name earn higher ranking when competing for billets in the marketplace. Good answer. My answer would have been, because you're not top 15, dog. You're not top 15. If you want an asterisk by your name, work harder, man. If you want an asterisk.
And if they ain't got but 3 billets and you're not in that top 15, you probably don't get one of those. I'm just saying.
Hey, you think the detailers want to make these concierge calls?
I know, right?
The detailers probably read that shit like, damn. Shit. Yeah, it's funny because somebody what's up?
No, I was thinking about, man, like detailers, man. Hey, I know we know this already, but I'm gonna say it anyway, man. These detailers are human too, though, man. You know what I mean? They human. I don't want to say too much and get too deep in it, but they are human, right? They know people who know people who know people too. I ain't want to get too deep into all that, but I just want you guys to know that shit, man. They're human.
I'm just imagining if I was a detailer and somebody was breaking this NAVADMIN down to me, so now, the people with the asterisk, you got to call them, and I'm like, yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah. As soon as that person leave, I'm like, what the fuck they got me signed up to do now, man? Detailers
that's if they don't pick none, right? If they don't pick none or they get selected, you got to give them a call, right? So, I'm like, you gonna give them a call and be like, hey, man, you didn't get picked up for one of these 3, but we got this, which ain't nobody want to do. Yeah. No, nobody want to do that shit.
Yeah, we got China Lake, man.
Yeah.
Jay
take it.
Jay like China Lake? I thought Jay ain't like China.
He didn't like it, but shit, he took that shit.
Yeah. And for the record, he didn't like the command. I think it's just in the middle of nowhere, right?
Middle of nowhere, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. I don't think most people probably don't like China Lake. It says, what will happen? I ain't reading that one. What if I'm on the screening list and I'm unable to successfully align to a higher pay grade requirement? Successfully screened sellers who do not select for a higher pay grade will automatically be added to next fiscal year screening board list and be allowed to re-enter the marketplace with their merit reorder ranking, if awarded, for up to 24 months. After 24 months, seller will need to be rescreened at the next E9 screening board. So if you can't successfully align, then you got to get rescreened.
Yeah. After 24 months. But I mean, that's a crazy. I mean, that question is answered too in the NAVADMIN shit.
Yeah. It says, I'm on the screening list. When will I get frocked? Sellers must compete and be selected for an E9 billet. Once selected and screened, seller must observe, then the seller could be frocked. 30 days prior, and then will advance to E9 upon reporting to the billet after completing required schools. That's on the NAVADMIN. Says, can I apply for a job at my current rank? The Navy encourages sailors who successfully screen to apply for billets in the next higher rank. So the Navy, they want you to go through the stress, and somebody probably like,
hold out.
Let me just pick another senior chief billet. No, we want you to go through this shit, man. Sellers may still apply for jobs in their current rank. If selected, will fill a billet requirement in the current pay grade. Successfully screened sellers who do not select for a higher pay grade will be automatically added to next fiscal year screening. This is repetitive of what they just said. What happened if I do not get under orders in the next pay grade and my PRD is before the next marketplace opportunity? Sellers who are not selected for or do not pass screening for a billet, whose PRD ends before next year's marketplace opportunities are available, you should work with PERS to consider extending on board at your present command.
That's crazy.
Or take orders.
Now you look. That's crazy. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
It said consider extended on board at your present command, or take orders as an E8.
Yeah, of course. but now, see, dude, that can fuck people up so bad because now you have to stay at the command for a year.
Yeah, the extra year.
So that's crazy, right? You got now that command. Ooh.
Yeah,
but PERS know about this, so they know it's coming. So maybe they'll extend you out a couple months or 90 days or whatever. I don't know.
Some of these people don't know. Like some of these people, wives, like some of these people, spouses, might like not even wives are spouses. Some of these people, relationships might be on the verge of breaking if they stay at their command for another year.
Yeah.
So then it's like you just have, and I'm not saying that talking out my ass. I'm saying that based off experience.
Yeah.
I've seen people like, yo, I cannot stay here for
that deployment the next month.
Yeah.
I'm not staying.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you got. I got to extend, man.
I am not gonna make it, bro. I gotta go,
Chief, man.
I'm sorry, Master Chief. I can't make it.
Shit, man. It says I just reported to command and found out I was screened. That's you 12 months, right? You got 12 months minimum. Under orders already, negotiate orders, but screened eligible for E9. Can I renegotiate? Yes, you can. Will all jobs for advancement be at sea? All available billets, seashore and overseas, will be advertised in the senior enlisted marketplace. Right? You think like, and that's just our thoughts. You think like a longer tenure E9 is going to have like priority over like the E8 that's up for like E9 that's screened for E9?
Dude, that's one of the things I got written down, man. But it says it's all about that scoring, though, right? How they gonna score it? And that's what I don't know. How are you going to score it? And the thing, I don't know, bro. I'm gonna tell you what kind of. Are you done? Is all the questions?
Yeah, that's it.
So I'm gonna tell you a little bit of the research, man, that I did on this, man. A little bit, right? So I started thinking about my rate. You guys already know my rating. I'm a DC. So what I started doing is looking at like, man, how many DC men, Master Chiefs out there, right? So it's like 19, right? So it's 19 DC Master Chiefs, maybe more if they ain't frock. I just looked this up on Fleet Tips or whatever, right? So it may have some people who, not, getting paid yet or whatever. So maybe a couple more. But it's like 11, 12, something like that, aircraft carriers out there, right? So that's what DC Master Chiefs are ability for, aircraft carrier. Then they got some short duty stuff like, schoolhouses and things like this. But it's over the number of Master Chiefs, like way over the number like of DC Master Chiefs that's needed. But we're not making no more than that number though. Yeah. Because I looked at the health of our rating. Look at the health of our rating. We're 118 is 106% or some shit like that over. So my thing is, are we thinking about that? Are we thinking about that we don't have enough billets out there to cover all of these damn jobs that you want DC Master Chief to go to? Because right now you're not. We don't have enough. Yeah. Right? That's one thing I was thinking about, right? Now, I'm just going on my rant, guys. So let's give me a couple seconds here, right? So I want to most definitely express the fact that I don't think it's enough DC Master Chiefs, right? That's out there to cover all the billets that a DC Master Chief is supposed to be at. And I looked it up, right? I know for a fact, when I looked it up on Fleet Temps, yes, I looked it up on Fleet Temps, yes, right? I think it's 11, 12 freaking carriers out there. Right now, it's like 5 DC Master Chiefs that's on carriers right now. Right. And the rest of them at ATGs, they're at schoolhouses, they all over the place like that. Right. Now, with that being said, it's a couple there's a couple ones out there that's not getting paid. They could be on the carriers too, but it still don't equal out to the right number, right? Regardless. So that's one thing I'm looking into and trying to get clarity on. Do we have enough DC Master Chiefs? Because we already at 106%. We only got 19, right? So my other question is, man, and this is me thinking, who's gonna screen these boards, right? Because now you're competing against each other, right? The Master Chiefs are competing against the E8s when it comes to billets. So only people I can think of is CMCs and officers.
It's
right?
The same people that screen the Master Chief board. So the same people that screen the Master Chief board are going to screen this board.
Yeah, but it can't be like that. What I'm getting at, right? Because if a DC Master Chief is screening the board, he could be eligible for that billet.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter as much, but I was just thinking about that. Like,
I mean, you're right. Like, you right about that. But yeah, you're right. The SIM screening board will operate in the same manner as the legacy screening board.
Yeah. So I thought about that, like who's gonna be doing the screening, which I guess it may not matter then. I guess as long as because you really haven't got selected anything anyway. You just got screened.
I mean, has there ever been any incidents of Master Chiefs being impartial during a selection board?
No, that's not really what I'm getting at. I guess
was a joke. That was a joke.
Oh yeah, right. So the other thing is like the question you asked earlier, like the scoring when it comes to are they going the Master Chief that's already rated already a Master Chief, is he getting kind of priority when it comes to the billets?
Yeah,
I don't know.
And you're right. It would make somebody impartial if they was up for the orders or whatever like that. Well, maybe you had to get somebody that is not up for orders. Like that might be a part of you. Yeah, you're right. That's a good thing. And maybe we need some answers on that. Maybe we're wrong in what we read, but it says it's going to operate the same way.
Yeah. And then my other biggest thing, man, like I can see in our community as chiefs and the officer community too, that this could possibly work. You know what I mean? I know we're going to make it work anyway. But when I say this, when you talking about going to E6, E5s, and E6s with this, man, that's like the biggest pool in the Navy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's a lot going on. So if it work in this same manner, I think that's going to be crazy to somebody to try to figure all that stuff out. Because it's got to be a little bit different. I know the percentage is probably going to be different and all that stuff. It has to be, right? Because you're talking about the biggest pool in, you're talking about E6 and below, which I think say E5 to E6, but still, that's a lot of sailors right there, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sailors.
I mean, Pers must got some killers over there.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I just know we got a lot of personnel stuff and money stuff issues now. Like, but that's outside of that. That's advancement, stuff like that. So hopefully, yes. And I mean, and for the record, for anybody listening, and they might be confused though, like how we feel about this. I actually think it's okay. Yeah. Like I think it's decent. It's some things about it to me that's not clear. Like a lot of other things, and like you said, a lot of that things got to do with like whose hand is this in, and when this happens and that happens. The question I had about if I'm a fire billet thing. So it's some things in there that I always have a hard time reading NAVADMINs and understanding them. So it's some things in there that I would like somebody to enlighten me on. But at the end of the day, I like it for certain reasons. I like it because you weed out some of the people that is just feeling just getting this money and not, and I ain't a hater for people that's getting money now, but some of the people that's getting this money but not like feeling the billet of, like the leadership that is called for or whatever, not operating in that manner. And then it's some things that I, like I said, it's some things I like about it and some things I don't like, but I lean more on liking it than not liking it or whatever.
I think I do too, man. I do too. I lean on more of liking it too, man. Like it's all about like putting people in the right positions to lead, man. Like if you need it's a reason why we have Master Chiefs and Billets. It's the reason why we got Senior Chiefs and Billets. It's the reason why we got Chiefs and Billets, right? So I'm all about that, putting people in the right spot, right position where they need to be. But it's just so many moving parts, man. And I'm saying this, man, like you got Master Chiefs that has to take special orders, special billets. You mean they're gonna be rated? They're gonna be rated Master Chiefs. They're gonna be taking special billets. So is that gonna take away from this all the billets you trying to fill for a certain? I mean, it just I don't know, man. It's just so many things out there, so many moving parts, which I'm assuming it's already figured out. We just ain't got all the answers yet.
So a question I do have is this born out of like spotting a deficiency or just a way to make things better? Like,
yeah, that's a good question. And but I don't think, man, we have been talking for years, like, hey, where all the Master Chiefs at? People talk like that a lot. Like, where are the Master Chiefs at? And they on limb duty, they in shore duty, they this and they that, all that type of stuff. That's always been a talk. But I don't know if that's, what this was made for, like to pull people out of the weeds, get people who's sitting on limb duty for years. I don't know where, but I do know if somebody make rank, they're gonna be filling a position of need. So I do like that. That whole thing right there. And what excites me is because now you're gonna make, because you got people who make rank and they got to their old job a year ago, right? And they made rank. Now they didn't sit there for 2 more years filling a 8 billet.
Yeah, but right? who felt that filling these billets? I don't know. I mean,
that too.
Did we fail at filling?
But you know, back in the day. Now this has been a while ago. And I know you guys gonna try to get on me, but I know it's been a long time ago. But you should do the 1 up, 1 down thing. And I think a lot of times, man, a lot of 8s was filling 9 billets. Like getting detailed to 9 billets. Like I remember one time, man, on the carriers back in the day, on the carriers, a lot of Senior Chiefs was filling those 9 billets. Because it was a 1 up, 1 down thing.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if that's just something that had been happening for years before that. It's now finally we've been to correct all that stuff. I don't know. And I'm not acting like I know all this stuff, but I'm just, this is gonna be good. I think it's gonna end up being a good thing though. I think it's gonna take some years. It ain't gonna be great from the start, but I do think eventually this could be a good thing.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to stay here too much longer, but what were like 9s fighting against taking their billets or something? Because I mean, it's like if
where it come from, right?
Yeah, like if the incentive, if I'm walking in the room or whatever, and my incentive is let's get 9s and 9 billets, then let's get 9s and 9 billets. Like it's like this whole change. And like I said, somebody could please talk to me and give me some information because I need it.
Yeah.
But it's like we haven't been successful at getting 9s and 9 billets. But I mean,
that's a good question, bro. That's a great question because my other question was that, which I talked about earlier, was if we got 50 billets, why we ain't got but 20 Master Chiefs? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't know. I don't understand that. But
some questionable stuff. All right, let's get into some personal stuff real quick before we get out of here. It is that time of year. A lot of holidays that we reflect into the year. These years go by super fast too. The older you get, man, these years go by fast. I was talking to my granddad. He was like, "Hey, they ain't gonna go by any slower, man." It's like this year just came through and got out of here. I feel like we were just talking about your daughter on TikTok making mac and cheese. I feel like that was like 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah, man. She's a senior now.
Yeah. So
crazy, bro.
But I want to get a little personal. I want to talk about some stuff about myself. One of those, again, is because of where we are this time of year. Another one of those is because we might not have that many more episodes this year. We might have about 2 or 3 because I am going to Jamaica and stuff like that. But another one is just talking to my granddad. It gave me a lot of reflection and stuff like that. So I want to talk first about like an early fear of mine when I was in the Navy. Now, all this stuff, this story starts in the Navy. I'm not going to talk about who I was before and stuff like that. I have a story, but what I'm talking about today is Navy stuff. So, man, I used to have a fear of going back home, bro. Like that was like what drove me to like a lot of achievements or early success as a junior seller was I was afraid to like get kicked out and get sent back to Philly, like with my uniform on, with the whites on, like back in the hood. Like I was scared, man. Like you want to leave your neighborhood, like for whatever reasons you leave your neighborhood, but you don't want to go back with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big driver. That was like probably one of my biggest drivers of success was to like, you know, for that. And then a big motivation of mine was early success became a motivation. So like being seen as a good seller or being seen as somebody who got stuff done made me just want to get more done. And that was from either people above me or like, you know, junior sellers, you know, and I'm talking about even as an E5, you know, E3s, E2s, you know, being able to like, for them to be like, yo, if I need something, I could talk to EM2. And then for senior sellers, if I need something, I could talk to EM2. So if you couple that with, you know, the fear of getting sent back home broke with nothing and going back to my mom's house looking for a job, those were the things that kind of like drove me to just wanting to do my best. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about you, but those were the early things that drove me to wanting to do my best.
From me in the Navy, man, and trying to do my best, man, was kind of the same thing, man. I love to go back and visit. Don't get it twisted. I love to go back and visit, you know, Mississippi and see all my family and see all those people. But I never ever wanted to like go back to Mississippi and stay or any type of situation like that. And then I went through something like that. Well, in my life with the story you had, man, because my older brother was in the Navy.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting out, you know, and all that type of stuff and on different circumstances or whatever, right? He ended up getting out and that kind of played out with him. But for me, man, it was never a thought process. But I did get myself in some positions, man, at a time that something probably could have happened like that, you know.
Yeah.
But I end up in the right thing happened for me and all that type of stuff, man. And I'm most definitely grateful for it though, man. Like really grateful for everything that now taking place and in my life and in the Navy. And now, man, that I'm really at a point now in my naval career that retirement is on the horizon and I can see it. Like I know it's coming.
You're going too far. That's coming. That's coming. You
all right.
Like so one of the things that I do want to say is that I was never like an angel. Like I was never like the perfect person. You know what I mean? Like I made mistakes. I did a lot of stuff. I made mistakes. One of my biggest models was to do my best that I could do, like on the job. You know what I mean? But I did stuff outside of work. I had fun. I got in trouble. I grew up here. Like I was 19. You know what I'm saying? I was like 18, 19 when I joined. So I grew up in this place. So I did everything anybody else. You know, we talked about being broke. We talked about times we got in trouble. I did all of that stuff, you know, and not everybody 19 had their periods of being broke. Some of y'all are doing great. I see y'all doing great.
Yeah.
And I wish I lived. Y'all got like houses and all. But like me, I was a brokey. I was a broke 19-year-old. You know, I had fun. I did stuff. I went to clubs. I was paycheck, buy an outfit, paycheck. And then I did other stuff. I got in trouble. I got into trouble. A lot of it did not come back to the command, and some of it did. You know what I mean? I've been in every kind of position you could be in. Hung around on like college campuses, had fun there, you know, chasing girls. Did everything you could do. Partied hard, drank too much, never dabbled with any kind of drugs like spice or anything like that. But I've put myself and my career into some questionable positions that I could have got into a whole world of trouble for. Fortunately, I had good people watching my back. I had good mentors. I had that healthy fear of like, all right, I need to nip this in the bud because I cannot afford to get kicked out. Right. So that was a thing for me. I need to get this straight up because I cannot. So that would be like my reality check. A lot of times when I found myself straying from the path a lot. Like I remember somebody, it was like a second class. This is back when they could retire at like 20. And he checked me for something. He's like, I see you hanging with the wrong crowd. And I ain't even been in the Navy 8 months. But I'm like, yo, you don't even know me, man. You know, I was young, arrogant.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you don't even know me, man, to say I'm hanging with the wrong crowd. You know, and I even said something that, you know, I'm older now. But I'm like, yo, you about to retire at 20, man. Like, leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that was disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I'm old. A lot of people retired at, great sailors had retired at 20 when that was a thing. But, and I didn't think, and I hold true to the whole, you don't know me, so you don't dictate what crowd I'm supposed to hang with. You don't know that about me. I could be with this crowd because I was, and you know, my explanation then was I could be with this crowd and still get my fucking work done. You know what I mean? But the other part I do regret because that used to be things too. Sometimes I was able to hone in on everybody like, yo, we gonna do this, we gonna do that. Oh, I'm working on my, you know, Eastwise. I'm doing this. I'm gonna go, you know, do this today. And then a lot of them times I just was broken. I couldn't really afford to go crazy anyway. But look, being young, exactly. Being young in Norfolk, having fun. Me and my boy, man, my little brother, man, we got chased by like his girl. She had a knife. We like hiding behind a dumpster and all that. I probably told this story earlier too. We just had fun, man. We did stupid stuff. I got in trouble. But I'm so happy that, you know, I grew up in this place and I'm older. I used to walk past people and act like they didn't exist. Now I look at that like a weird thing. Like, you know, why do people just beeline straight past people? But when I think about it, it's been times I did that too. You know what I'm saying? Not often, but it's been times I did that. Times I was angry at the world and, you know, stuff like that. And I'm just happy to be at a new place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I want us to move into the present. Like, where are you presently right now? I know what your future, like, you know, we're going to talk about that in a second. But presently, like, where are you?
So presently, man, I don't think I'm like presently. I'm not doing as great as I want to do, and it's all because of my health issues, right? That's my biggest thing. Family issues and all that stuff. Where I'm at, you know, physically, financially, and all that stuff. I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. But my health wise, it was got me really down, man. Like really, really down a little bit right now because for you guys don't know, I've been doing this back thing for a while now. You guys already know I talk about it pretty much over every episode. But now I am having surgery. So the surgery is scheduled, you know, 20 December. If you guys want to send me some flowers, you know what I mean? I'll give you your address later. But I am going to be, you know, I am having surgery, man. And you know, what people always say about that, man, once you start having them surgeries, man, you know, especially on your back and who knows, you know, where that can go and how it go and all that stuff. But I tell you one thing I learned about pain, man. At first you try to fight it as long as you can, bro. But that shit gets so crazy, man. You start forgetting all about that shit you said before about I ain't never having surgery. I'm just going to deal with this shit. That shit over with, bro.
Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do to make me feel better. You know what I mean?
Your brain catches up to your body. Your body,
man.
You know?
Whatever you need to do. So that's kind of where I'm at, like right now. Navy right now, man, great. People taking care of me. People they know how I'm feeling. They asking me like, hey, how you doing? What you need and all that good stuff. So from a chain of command, from a Navy standpoint, man, I couldn't be in a better place right now. Shore duty. I'm going through the stuff I'm going through. So from all that, it's good, man.
Yeah. My shore duty, I like it. You know, I like it. I work directly across the street from like a mini Next and I work upstairs from a bar, right? It's a bar on base, which is weird. But that like I'll never go there, but I just think it's pretty cool. And we got Fleet and Family like right across the other side. And we do got like an elevator, and it's only 3 floors. It's 4 stops in the elevator, but 3 floors. It's the worst elevator in the Navy. I promise that. Right. That has nothing to do with, you know, nothing. I will say this though. I wish that I could interact with more sailors. I interact with a lot of sailors on a daily basis. I talk to them. I try to do stuff, and with the job I have, but the job I have is just not structured to interact with sailors. So when I go interact with sailors, it's me going off and, you know, talking to sailors and stuff like that. Like, it's days where I used to think like, man, like not dealing with problems. I wish I had like something with a seller that we could work through and deal with it.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So, I mean, if it's anything that like, I think it's lacking, it's that, there are sellers. I reach out and touch or whatever like that. But I just mean like scope of the job type stuff, man. Scope of the job that I do is program based. It's not my job is not seller based. My billet. So that's the one thing. But outside of that, man, it's great. I love it. I get to, be me. I get to do me. And for me, that's what keeps me comfortable in the Navy is being able to be myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's more, more people as at a command longer, more people know you. You feel better, when you talk to people, your confidence is kind of, it's kind of up a little bit for me. My confidence is normally a little more comfortable. I'm always confident, but sometimes it's like, all right, let me like suppress some of this. But, the longer I'm like around people, I could joke with them the way I normally joke and, stuff like that. And at home, I want to have a kid, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing for us. That's a want. And then on a personal level, man, I'm gonna get a little personal. On a personal level, man, I need to lose some weight. You know what I'm saying? I want to lose weight for myself. Like we're going to Jamaica, and like we had this whole thing where it's like, yeah, we're gonna lose this weight before Jamaica, and it like the timeline just kept getting shorter. It's like, all right, I got 3 months before Jamaica. It's like, and then it's all right, I've been slacking. I got 2 months, I've been slacking. Now I'm at like 6 days, and I'm trying my best to do like 3 workouts a day or something like that. But it's like
I be seeing it, you little thing. I be seeing it, man.
Right on the watch, you're like, man, it's too. But it's like I've worked out and I lost that weight before, and I might have told myself like, yo, this is easy. Like it's gonna be easy, easy, easy. But now it's time for me to admit that this might be a challenge. I might need to take this serious and not just brush it off. Yo, I could lose 10 pounds in 9 days or whatever if I really want it. Can I lose 10 pounds in 9? And that's what it challenged me because I think I can, and but I can't just keep.
I have before.
Yeah, it's like, damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. Can I still pull it off? So for me, I'm gonna put this out right now for our listeners and keep me honest on this, Damon, and keep me honest on this, listeners. Starting our next pod, I'm gonna weigh in before our pod, and at some point in our pod, keep me honest because I think I'm gonna forget this shit. But at some point in our pod, I'm gonna report that weight. In our next pod, every pod, I'm gonna give y'all my goal. I'm gonna give y'all my first goal. My first goal is 208. That's my first goal. I haven't weighed myself in right now, but I know that I'm over 235. So my first goal is 208. So keep me honest, y'all. We're gonna weigh in every week. I figure with the audience.
I thought you said you had 6 days left.
I ain't about to be 208 in 6 days, man.
I know, but I'm saying like
I already chalked that up. I chalked the makeup, man. Gotta put the t-shirt on it. Gotta put the t-shirt on in the pool, man.
Hey, I'm probably gonna be on it too, man. After this surgery, and I get back right, man. I'll probably be in there with you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Right now, what I'm doing is I know I didn't gain mad weight, but I'm chalking it up to I can't do shit.
Yeah, I can't front, man. Like I ain't a hater, man. Like cause we work, we did this together. We did fit this thing together. I ain't a hater, but I was looking at some pictures, man. I saw a little chunk in your cheek, man, and I was happy.
Bro.
I was like, yo, he about to be like me, man.
Bro, I got chunky. I got chunky. Man. I'm gonna work on it though. I'm gonna be back, guys.
Let's keep it honest, man. So yeah, that's a big thing for me. I want y'all to kind of be ingratiated in that too. It's something else that I had, but I might have forgot about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Hey, I tell you this, man, that at these last freaking by a year or whatever, man, I almost didn't accept it, man. And I'm telling you, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have accepted this, bro.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have accepted that one day that, it's a possibility that I wouldn't be a Master Chief in some type of capacity. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be truthful. I would have accepted this 5 years ago. But now since I'm getting to the end of the road, man, I'm kind of starting to like finally, like, you know what, man, I may not make this shit. You know, and I got a couple more tries there. Not saying it's the end of the world now, but my mind has wrapped its head around it. I've wrapped my head around it now, though. You know, it's a possibility, and I'm okay with it now. At first, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, this is my goal, man. It's been a goal for me since like day one of the Navy. Is like, this is what I want to, you know, do or whatever. But I'm okay with it now, though, man. Like I'm starting to feel like, okay, you know, I'm okay. I remember, because I got friends that's like, you know, Master Chiefs and all that stuff, and they, you know, they motivation, you know, all that stuff, telling me, you know, do this, keep pushing, keep this, keep that. But you know what, man? Man, being at home, being on shore duty and all that stuff, man, it most definitely then started changing my outlook, you know, on a lot of things, right? Being around the family a lot more and things like that, man, has changed my outlook on a whole lot of things, man. And it's more things important to me now than, you know, than just, you know, the Navy, you know. A lot more stuff now I could be doing and thinking about and trying to do. And because you got to think about it, man, I've been in I've been in the Navy long as I've been in Mississippi now, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the number of years, all I know is like Navy shit. You know what I mean? And of course, I done seen a lot of, you know, places in the world and went places. Me and Ella done been places before, but I ain't been a lot of places with Ella though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Navy, yeah, we done went out there and had fun and did this, did that. But with the family, how many places I done went and visit like, outside of the States? Besides, we stayed out there, but it's not a whole lot. That's the stuff that we starting to do now. Ella already starting to schedule stuff, and we starting to do things. I'm on shore duty, and that stuff excites me. Going out there and having fun like that, and believe it or not, man, I'm at a command that has contractors, right? And have stuff, and not necessarily I want to be a contractor, but it's the fact of they making more money they was outside the Navy than they was in the Navy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And things like that, man, that they out there doing. So I'm kind of starting to, man, and really look forward to stuff like that now, man. I really am. So.
Yeah. So first off, shout out to Ella, who I think is an amazing woman and an amazing wife, man. I was just telling Angeline that, man. Ella, like, it seemed like she just get everything laid out. You know what I'm saying? Like she got, and then I was telling Angeline, I'm like, she like super wife, super mom, and she works. You know what I'm saying? So that's my little moment of time for Ella, for the listeners. Damon has a great life, man.
Hey, one more shout out to Ella is, man, and I'm saying this because I know my kids ain't listening to this anyway. They be hating. But is that Christmas shopping already done, bro?
Damn.
You know what I mean? Yeah. She done it. You know, like it's already over with. Now it's just like little ones and twos is here, man. But the main stuff, and Ella be on top of that stuff way ahead of time. Asking kids what they want on the low, and you know, stuff like that. She be planning this shit out a long time, whatever. But yeah, man, she's done, man. Okay. And everybody may be done by now, but I'm just, and I don't have to worry about none of that stuff, man. So I'll be happy.
Yeah, man. I almost think like it's like she got a clone, bro. Like it's two of her, bro. You know what I'm saying? That you know, that's good. That's good stuff, man. That's
for real.
I was about to throw a shot at you some type of way, but
bro, you can throw it at me, bro. I'm telling you right now. Hey, look, boy, you know what I be telling her all the time, boy. I don't know how she be doing it, boy.
I ain't even. We having a wholesome moment, man. So, all right. So, talk about the future. So, my future is kind of ingrained in my now, and that's I'm working on my SEL stuff. I am working on my command SEL stuff, CMC command SEL stuff. And I got some good contacts. I got some good mentors. I got some good people I'm talking to. So I'm starting to walk that up and down the waterfront. You know, I mean, we ain't on the waterfront, but, you know, I'm starting to walk that up and down the waterfront, find Master Chiefs that I know. I remember when I was a first class and somebody told me, like, if you want to be successful, you need to, he is like, do you know 5 Master Chiefs? I said, no, I don't know 5 I don't know 5 Master Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like, if you want to be successful, and I'm not giving anybody this as game or whatever. I'm just telling you what somebody told me. He's like, if you want to be successful, you need to know 5 Master Chiefs. And I never thought, like, whatever. And just now, and yes, I'm a senior chief and all that, but just like now knowing that I could call like certain Master Chiefs for like personal favors, and they will be willing to help, And I also know it's certain Master Chiefs that want to see me succeed. It's certain Master Chiefs that, they want young people that's hungry and ready to do stuff up in those ranks. And so I appreciate that. So I'm walking around with my stuff. And the reason why I say that is because I also never thought I would even think about doing more than 20 years in the Navy. I never thought I would ever consider.
I remember we had a conversation about that before. Me and you have.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
20, like I've been on that. I mean, I'm at year 15 going on year 16, and I've been on that pretty much up until this year, bro. And honestly, the biggest push for that is like a friend of mine that's a senior chief, a command senior chief. Yeah. And just that was my biggest, like, yo, I could go command and maybe do some stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never thought, and then I was like, but if I do go command, I mean, I might have to stay over 20.
Longer.
I never thought that because I never wanted the Navy to be, and I listened to another Master Chief who I respect. We actually had him on a podcast, Master Chief Parker. I saw a post of his and he was saying like, we minimize, I'm paraphrasing his post, but it was pretty much about like people saying, I'm doing 20 and I'm out, I'm doing this. And it's almost like we minimize like what we're in, like this career that we in, we make it like smaller than it is. Like we just want to get out so fast, like we cooler than this or whatever. Like, why not make like this cool? Why not represent that? And I again, I love how he represents this. Like, I kind of look at him. But why not like be cool in this shit? Like, why not show like some of us, we could be this, we could be that, we could come from these places, we could do this. It don't got to be this rush to get out. Like some of the best people that I know got out. First term, second term, whatever. Some of the smartest people, some of the best people I know got the hell up out of here when they got more money, whatever it is that they did. So this is the first time I've ever evaluated the thought that I would do more than 20. My mom probably is listening to this for the first time. Like I ain't even tell her, but because it's like, yo, it's 20, I'm done. It's 20, I'm out. This is the first time I've considered, maybe going over that. Oh yeah. Shout out to my mom who's at this point, like she's like a ghost host because we talk about her all the time too.
Yeah, I know. Big shouts out moms. We love ya.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of like my past, present, and my future right there.
Yeah, man. That's good shit. I like to hear that though, man, because I most definitely think you're going to do a crazy job when you do it. And I'm not saying like in whatever, when you put it on, it's like, that's kind of like where it's at. Like when you put it on, you're going to do a freaking crazy ass good job, man. I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm looking forward to those stories, bro.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna get into this. Gonna be fast. This book of the week gonna be fast, man. Because I didn't read 2 books since this, man. I read the Michelle Obama, her new book, pretty good, and I'm reading Fat Joe book, and you already know, like this Fat Joe book is crazy. But the book that I talk about right now is the 5 Love Languages Military Edition. Gary Chapman, right? I'm gonna try my best not to trash you. Old Gary. Like I said before, I haven't been having the best luck when it come to reading when it come to these books. But Jocelyn Gray. So Gary Chapman and Jocelyn Gray, right? So the 5 Love Language Military Edition, The Secret to Love That Lasts. And this is what I'm gonna say. This is the 3rd Gary Chapman 5 languages book that I read. And you gotta do more than add. No, let me rewind. Let me rewind that. Me personally, I am now educated that different editions of books does not mean that it's going to be a completely different book, right? So, because I just experienced that with that book about the food or whatever that, I won't recommend anybody. That was supposed to be life-changing. If you read the 5 Love Languages, you don't need to get the military edition. It's the same book, the same exact book with maybe a paragraph or 2 about like this deployment spouse or whatever, right? With some qualifying words. That's it. is nothing different. So I've read the 5 love languages. I've now read the 5 languages of appreciation at work, and I've read the 5 languages military edition. If they come out with a book called The 5 Love Languages for Podcasters, you don't have me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's going to be the same book, and all they pretty much going to do is say podcast like 6 times. I don't know why Saint is barking like that, but all they pretty much going to do is say podcast about 4 to 5 times in the book, and it's going to be for podcasters. So that's my whole thing with the 5 love languages. If you never read the 5 love language and you're in the military, I recommend this book. Right?
Yeah.
But if you've read the 5 love languages, I don't recommend this book. Speaking of love languages, what's your love language, bro? What's your love languages? Your primary and secondary.
Bro,
We don't gotta wait till Valentine's Day. You know your love languages?
No.
Oh man, you need to do the test.
I gotta do this now.
You need to do the test. I'm sure Ella's familiar with it.
No, I'm sure she is too.
Yeah, you need to do the test, bro. Do you know what they are? Like the love languages?
No. So hey, you guys hear it here first, man. Now I gotta do this now, man. Don't want to bring it up. I gotta most definitely, come back with this on our next pod, and we need to talk about this, man.
Yeah, bro. Do the test. Take it with Ella. Come back. I'm gonna tell you what the 5 are though. The 5 words of affirmation is 1. Mm-hmm. Right? Words of affirmation. Physical touch is 1. Receiving gifts is 1. Quality time is 1. And acts of service is 1.
Mm.
My primary love language is quality time.
Mm.
That's my primary love language. That shit, I don't think that shit is on Angeline's list. like you know what I'm saying? Like they talk about quality time, and quality time is like, quality time for me is like undivided. Like, we're here, but like we need to be connected in some kind of way. Like you can't just be on the couch on your laptop or your phone.
Quality time. Yeah,
Angelina rotate through her laptop, her phone. So quality time is, and she she's working on her way of expressing. But it was I think on this pod I talked about like us syncing up our love, because hers might not be quality time. So I can't think that I'm expressing love in her language by giving her my language, which is, quality time. Hers is like other stuff like words of affirmation and physical touch. Hers used to be receiving gifts, I guess, when, I got broke. It just ain't better no more. But quality time is mine. So I would love to hear yours, bro. Next episode.
Most definitely, man. Yeah. You go hook it up.
All right, let's get this show, man. We started a new show, y'all. We were supposed to watch a movie. The movies, them joints be long, man. You know what I'm saying? And we still gonna watch the movie, but we started a new show. The show is called Echo 3. Look, we ain't gonna give y'all none of the details about the show. If Damon don't know the names of the actors, we not gonna get into no names and no actors. None of that. We just gonna talk about the show real quick. And I will say that it's on Apple TV Plus.
Yeah.
What you thought of? It's your type of show, right?
Well, most definitely my type of show. And I know one of the actors that hit me up. I do know one of them. I think it's Luke Evans.
Oh, you know his name? Luke. My man know the B-list. You know the B-list action actors. Huh?
Yeah, man. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's my type of show.
Mm-hmm.
I like the storyline is I'm gonna give you guys a real quick storyline, man. It's like, so she didn't went like. So they just got she just got married. They all like military, family military. Her new husband military. And I think special forces. I'm assuming Rangers. Right? It was
the worst. That's the worst backstory.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm gonna give you the backstory.
Yo, she just got married. In military.
She's a scientist. And he's like a ranger, right? That's the thing. They get married, and then he's a part of his. let me finish, bro.
Yeah, I'm just listening. I'm just laughing.
And the husband is part of the I think is this Rangers, right? The Rangers, some special group anyway, special forces.
Yeah, special forces.
So So she got this job that she just got.
They commandos, Army commandos.
So she just got a job going, I think it's Somalia or somewhere. She going for medicine, but
Colombia.
It's Colombia?
Oh, yeah, Somalia and Colombia. Like they like
But so she going over there to do some research, right? But we learned a little bit more about it. Like she may be part of some CIA stuff too, though. But we ain't quite sure yet what's going on with that. But guess what, man? She didn't got captured and some things that happened. And guess what? Her husband special forces and her brother special forces. So guess what? They going to check on the situation.
Yeah.
Which is right up my alley, man, because she's part of some kind of guerrilla group or something, got her or whatever. So we're going to see what happens, man. It's the first episode, man. Now go ahead and get a real backstory now, man.
I know that's what I was waiting to do. So what I was waiting to do was get a real backstory. But I'll say this. It's a TV show about newlyweds, right? So it's a family TV show, right? So it's really hard to explain, I guess. But you got it opens up with a woman in a firing line, and then you hear a gunshot or whatever, and then it flashes back 6 months to the same woman that was in a firing line getting married to a dude named Prince or whatever, right? He got some money. And then you find out that him and her brother are in the same elite special forces unit, him and her older brother. And it seemed like her older brother been taking care of her forever. And because the mom is on drugs, so them two have a close bond or whatever. The same day that they get married, they find out that they got to go and do something. It's a hostage situation they got to go take care of. So now her brother, again, like I said, her brother's the leader of the unit that her husband is in, her newlywed husband. So they go out together. Something happens out there and her husband almost dies, right? And I believe that her brother sacrificed the friend, the other dude, to save her
another guy, another person, yeah.
Yeah, it's another dude who's pretty much, you don't know if he did or not. They like, yo, wiggle your foot. He finally did wiggle his foot, but her husband, his brother-in-law was in a line of fire. He was going to die in like 30 seconds or something. So her brother went and saved him. They get back, 3 months later, her husband, Prince, got an issue with her brother. That's important. I think that's important for the story because, like Damon said, they both got to go out and look for her. But, he got an issue with her brother because he felt like her brother could have saved old boy. But her brother's not ever saying like, yo, I didn't save old boy because I was worried about saving you. But he was on some like no man left behind type stuff. But they were going to die. It was if they would have waited, they were going to die because they were in Afghanistan and that unit was coming for them, right?
Yeah.
So now she has to go and do whatever her job is, and that's like she into some like psychedelics. You know what I'm saying? She into like doing psychedelics as medication or whatever like that. So she gotta go to Colombia, Venezuela border to do that. He's like, again, this commando. So he's like, well, why don't you take a tracker? So they get into this big fight about, well, even before that, him and her brother get into a fight, when they out together on a date. So now she mad at him because her and her brother are close. You know what I'm saying? And then it seemed like they might have came from a rougher place than this dude. Like he like rich. So, when they get home, he wants to put a tracker in her backpack so he knows where she is at all times. She don't like that idea. She roll out, next day they good. It seemed like she still had a little attitude. Now, my question for you is, what you think about the whole tracker thing? Do you think that like he should have put the tracker in? Like, so she said, no, she ain't want the tracker, and he still put it in there.
That should have ended it. That should have ended it. I know he trying to take care of her. He want to know what she had, but when she found, if you would have did it and didn't tell her about it, that'd have been different. You told her about it. She said no. That should have been it. Yeah. And she almost got her ass killed because of that tracker.
Yeah. So, fast forward. She almost got killed because of that damn tracker. So now it seems like she's either, the way the show was made, well, later on he finds out she's in the actual damn CIA.
Yeah.
And he didn't know that before they got married. He like finds that out from her brother that she's in the actual CIA. And now it's like, damn, I should not have, put this tracker in her backpack. So then they pretty much, the show ends with, so in Venezuela, this guerrilla unit or whatever kidnapped her and a group of people. And then the show ends with him and her brother going in a helicopter, a really nice helicopter, to go find her or whatever. So it seemed like the shit is about to like go down. It seemed like it's about to go down a little.
You're right about that though. How the hell they get a nice helicopter like that? It's
Man,
just them two. That's crazy.
Yo, that helicopter, crazy. Man.
Yeah. But I tell you one thing, man. Like, there's specifically some things happen in the show. Like, I like the mom part too, though, man. The mom, on drugs and stuff. But one thing she keeps saying in the movie is, "Go take care of your sister." Like, that's one thing she preached the whole time. So I'm assuming that's going to mean something in the show.
It does.
She keeps saying it.
For me, it means that's what he's been doing all his life.
That's what he go. Yeah, he been taking care of it. Yeah.
And that's something on his back that's weighing on him. Like he's burdened by that. He gotta go take care of his sister.
Yeah. So I want you guys to know, man. You guys seen how I did the background on the show. Then you seen how Damo pretty much then laid out the whole entire. You don't have to watch the first episode now. Damo started from the start to finish and pretty much gave you guys the whole show detail by detail. Me, I was just trying to give you guys a little glimpse. But he pretty much did the whole damn show.
And look, man, and when we doing this, y'all gonna get spoilers, man. That's just what it is. Y'all gonna get spoilers. You know what I'm saying?
I'm thinking about watching another episode tonight. That shit was good.
I already know, man. Like, hey, listen, y'all. Damon, he gonna be ahead of me on this one, man. He's just gonna binge watch it. He gonna do me like he did me on the other show. He's just gonna binge watch this one, man. I'm probably after we hang up. No, because Angeline said she want to watch it. Angeline saw like the super trailer, and now she want to watch. Oh, this show. She was like, this show looks good as shit. I was like, damn, man, like, you got a curse.
Yeah,
like?
I'm getting Ella to watch it too.
Yeah.
So we'll be on the same level, same page.
Man.
Yeah, bro. Hey, another episode, bro. I think it's a good episode. I hope you guys got a lot of good knowledge from that, that marketplace, man. Please, you guys got some questions on that marketplace. Please put it in the comments, man. Please let us know. And don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah.
Mississippi, stand up.